Okay, boys, just like always.
Hello fellow viewer and welcome back to QcWarChief's channel. Today we are talking about Conan Exile. I'm not gonna talk about the game itself, I'm gonna mostly talk about the building mechanics and how I can help you understand that kind of mechanic a little easier in a game to help yourself create some more interesting base, more immersive base, instead of having some stupid squares filled up with hobos that falls inactive in your session. If you have your own server, you sadly have to deal with these hobos, especially in PvE, because there is no way technically to remove some of their stuff. So if the people fall inactive for a few weeks / months, they're gonna have some stations, workshops, and you will have a hard time removing those. But I'm gonna talk about all these admin mechanic later in another video. Today we talk about the building mechanic. As you can see right now, I'm building. I'm gonna fast forward this because this took me hours to build. I was building a Coliseum in order to add up some PvP mechanic inside our server. I deal with the admin mechanic kind of nicely. I do explore it, and I used to explore a lot with the tool set of Neverwinter Night, 1 and 2, also Operation Flashpoint, Arma 1, Arma 2. I was building up campaign for myself there, never really released anything, but still this was practice for what I'm doing today. I hold my own server inside Conan Exile. It's a PvE server at the moment. We don't exclude the PvE per se inside the session, but we don't extend it to the building. There is no building destruction. Except, of course, if you piss me off or you fall inactive for way too long because I got to clean the session, or sometimes pass a road or do some more building in that section. Sadly, I'll have to relocate your base. But if something happens in that direction, what I will do usually is that if you ever come back into the game, I will help you with the material that you'll need to rebuild your base a little bit. Not necessarily give you everything you need, but a small compensation should help with the relocation of your base. The session is called Rise of the Dominion. It's a PvE server in Xbox server. Yeah, we play on console. You guys know that. There ain't no surprise there. One of the rare people on YouTube that still is on console. Old timer I am. So here goes for the construction mechanic. As you guys notice, there is wedges, there is square. Everything starts with the foundation. If you guys place a foundation weirdly or not correctly, it's gonna mess up your pattern. What I call a pattern is the streak of foundation you'll fit together that will always come back together. As example, you see that I'm using wedges, I'm using squares, but it's on long streak. I'm making right now a hallway to for the spectators to go up. Later you'll see actually in the building. But the thing that is important to remember into the building mechanic, you guys will hate me for a second because we're going back to geometry class, high school. We're gonna talk about rectangular triangle, squares, and isocell triangle. Yeah, I know you hate me already. Isocell triangle have all the same angle, and they have sides equals. Therefore, whenever you want to fit an isocell triangle into a square, it's not exactly the half of it. The comparison with the rectangular triangle, this one as example, would fit half of the square / rectangle that you have. So when you use these wedges right now that you see inside the game, these are isocell. Therefore, they're not entirely compatible with the squares. The moment you start using those wedges, you're gonna have to respect your pattern. If you get out of this pattern just for one square, you mess it up completely. And that's gonna affect all the rest of your building. So it's really important that whenever you start building the stuff around, you have an idea in your mind, but whatever you do, you never go out of the pattern that the wedge foundation and the square foundation will give you. If you start using wedges, you'll have somehow to balance with the same wedge. I'm showing you some example at that very moment on the screen. You see some example of foundation that I took on Google, not gonna lie there. If you do your research, you're gonna be able to find some pattern there, and you're gonna understand exactly what I mean by isocell and squares. There ain't no rectangular triangle inside that game. Everything is isocell. So the moment you start using those, you got to balance with more. One thing that is really important also is that when you start building, you're gonna create a pattern at your foundation level. It's really important that whatever you do, you respect that pattern. You can remove walls, you can make some stuff, create balcony, but somehow you always need to respect the pattern once again, because whenever it's gonna comes down to place those ceiling or place those roof, everything is going to be messed up. So if the foundation is a square, the ceiling needs to be a square as well. Technically you can still use wedge, but you just give yourself some trouble and you break the pattern. So if you're like me and you like some equal building, if on the left side it's one way, the right side is going to be on the other way, and you do some exceptions sometimes just to create some patterns. But as example, in the Coliseum, everything needs to be either circular, on my case it's a lozenge. It was more simple for me to make it this way. Creating a circular building in this game is possible, it's just more complicated a little bit, and for the purpose I was using there, I wanted to create not a Coliseum that is just necessarily for free-for-all, but a Coliseum that is for team fighting. So you have 2 exit and 2 entrance. Therefore, it's like you come from one side to another and you can fight in teams. So as example, 2 tribe in my server could be fighting against each other inside that place. I'm not exactly sure about some of the triggers. I'm gonna have to work this out also. Concerning the game, of course, the game has 4 or 5 years, I believe. Could be wrong there, but I'll have to check this out. But still, we saw a lot of improvement ever since I came back to the game. It's not the same game I used to play that long ago. The building mechanic is more smooth than it used to. Now, if you use tier 1 to start with, and you slowly get better, you're going to be able to replace the tier 1 by the tier 2 or 3 automatically without having to destroy your building. So this is a really nice feature because, as you know, when you make a mistake in building, it's really annoying because like right now I'm forced to destroy that part of the building. I cannot remove it, like having a small cooldown of maybe 20 seconds to take it back, and just give me a chance not to lose my material all the time. As example, right now I'm using admin, so I don't lose any material. It doesn't really bother me if I need to remove something. But any player inside my session that plays the game, that builds his base legitimately, it will get pissed after time from losing material, and it's totally understandable. So whenever you place something, it's important to be careful and think your stuff through, because if you make changes later, you're gonna lose material. What you see right now is slowly taking form. I did fast forward it. I'm sorry guys, it might be making you dizzy a little bit. I move fast there, but that's giving you the chance to actually see the Coliseum getting built up. You won't see the decoration there, you'll see mostly just the skeleton of the building. Anyway, I manage this session with more than 1 people. I have my friend Metro as usual, which is my grinder friend that we keep tagging along for. I'm not counting anymore. Caesar also, that helps me manage the session, because somehow whenever I got back in the game, there ain't no big secrets concerning the building for me in that game, but concerning the dungeons, concerning the secrets, the lore of the game, Caesar was priceless and still is. To the admin. So we're 3 admins managing the server. I'm the owner, so I'm the one that paid the session. But still, these are priceless admins. We try to make this interesting, so if you guys play on Xbox, you're wondering, you're looking maybe for a session to join that there is actually people that cares for the session. The admins are not there to ruin your day. We're there to work with you, help you have fun, and we leave all those landmarks like Coliseums open, so you can actually get there with your best friend and slap each other's face for a while and have fun there. There is no stress in our session, and it's not managed by kids. Sorry, I've censored myself there. It's not managed by kids that don't know what to do with the admins. That actually do basically everything wrong and create massive glitch in the session. As example, in our session, I was exploring during the days that it was pretty quiet. I was exploring with the NPCs. I found the NPCs I need to be able to spawn merchants and create markets. It's really interesting, but in the meantime, it's annoying for the admins because I need to respawn those NPCs all the time. And it comes down also to something that I would love to see and have access as admin would be developer mode. It's there. I just don't know yet how to access that or what hash I need to lick in the company to get access to that. But still, I would like to access the developer mode because I would love to be able to script the game a little more, push some stuff forward, and create some more immersion for the players that join my session. I'm looking to create a really great session where the active player base is getting rewarded for playing the game, and the inactive or the casual players, it can be cleaned up but not necessarily exclude from the server necessarily. I want them to have a good time, but some people have to understand somehow in these kind of games, if it's not your server, you got to take somehow a little bit your place as a casual gamer there. Don't build yourself a city, because there is a slight chance that if you fall inactive, that whole city is going to become the responsibility of the server owner or other people in the tribe, which gets annoying a little bit sometimes. So there is many stuff to implement into the game, and I truly believe that there is some people in the player base that could make it better if they have access to some more mechanic, either into the development mode or for me personally, I would love to have access to spawners, so that this way I can literally program some more immersion inside the game. As example, if you would walk Noob River and I have access to spawner, I would make sure that there is one or maybe two spawner, a small one, not enough to take over the camp, but enough to create a small battle between the Black Hand and the Darfari, because technically these are two factions, so they will fight each other. So if I create a spawner that has a Black Hand tier 2 fighter that spawn with an archer, and you pass by that camp, you will actively see those two factions fighting each other, and you'll have the choice to get involved. As example, if you want to tame one of these trolls, it brings one more difficulty. Talking about difficulty, in our session, there ain't no baby mode. We got tired to see boosted servers. It's plain nonsense. If I go buy myself a 6-pack of beer, I don't spill it on the sidewalk before getting home. I mean, what's the point of getting to buy a game to cheat it straight away and lose absolutely all your fun? I don't get that. I mean, I use admin to build up the server to make it interesting and immersive with precise landmarks that will be used by the general player base. That's why I'm using admin. But somehow I still do dungeon by myself with my potion that my wife grinds at my castle on a regular basis. She doesn't do much in the game, but for Christ's sake, she does me a load of potion on a regular basis. And these are all legend. So this is the point. We hate the baby mode server. We decided to leave this vanilla default value and slowly readjust the value to not necessarily add up the difficulty in combat, but add up the difficulty that the world is offering. I mean by that, I'm talking about the corruption. I'm talking about the environment. Hopefully, maybe the weather. If I can have some values concerning the weather that I can adjust in the server, I'd love to do that. The northern part of the map needs to be more merciless concerning the weather. It's winter. So yes, there is some armor that are meaningful for that, but even though if I have one of the good armor that protects me from cold, I should feel it a little more. So in that direction, I feel like this game should be a little more challengeful concerning that. Back to the building mechanic, you slowly see that that ceiling gave me a hard time because I was not respecting the pattern. For some reason, I made some mistake trying to use wedges, but I really had to respect exactly the same pattern I had down there. And it comes exactly down to what I was saying when I started that video, the pattern. The pattern, the isocell wedges, and the squares. You got to respect the pattern. Whatever you do, if you mess up the pattern, you're gonna mess up your build. So if you don't necessarily value the quality of your building, you don't necessarily care for that. But in our session, as example, we do value the quality of the building that we build, so it's something that we will care for. As example, if you fall inactive in our session and you have a wonderful small fishing shack that is looking nice, it's not necessarily the greatest building, but it's not how can I call this? It's not pollution for my eyes. It's not a cubic building that I'll hate to see. So as you can see right now in the server as well, my friend Metro was building to help me as admin the world map that we have at every obelisk. So every single obelisk around the map have their own world map. And this is priceless, because if you guys join the session, whenever you unlock all the obelisk, you basically can fast travel back and forth to all these, as all the obelisks used to be technically how can I say this? They used to be only one way. You go there, it's an arrival, but you can't use the obelisk to go back to your destination, which is another obelisk in that case. So basically the world map is the starter, the obelisk is the arrival. So what we did, we have the world map all around the maps, really close to the obelisk with banners so everybody can see it. And it's quite easy to spot those. This is QcWarChiefs. I was rambling a lot there on the possibility on the game, but I will still do that. I'll probably do some more tricks about the game. We're going to talk about dungeons. We're going to talk about some of the secrets of the game. It's a huge game, and there is also Sipta that I still personally need to explore. I'm completely a neophyte there, completely newbie. My building tricks will be appreciated, but for the map itself, it's a long learning curve. Once again, don't we like those? This is QcWarChief. Thanks for passing by the channel. Thanks for watching the video. Thanks for liking the video. And of course, thanks for subscribing to the channel. Have a good one.